That there is a Renault 4 on some hay bales. Hanging off the ceiling is another 2CV. There it is, yeah. The Renault 4 van. Oh, look at that, it's a Renault 5. Wow. Aujourd'hui, sur CarTraction. Or, where this, that's got Dad laughing. Or, of course, we are British here. Today on CarTraction, you join me in a car park in France, somewhere in Normandy. And if you're watching this, then we've found some pretty interesting stuff. We have been in France on our holiday one day, and it's a very car-themed holiday. We are on the search for any interesting old classic French cars. This is an active car park of any type. I've got this Renault 5 here just behind me, which has been in this car park for a while, but that's a little bit useful. Today we'll try and search for some older, probably most likely French. They're very patriotic with their cars. But yeah, let's see if we can find any interesting abandoned or in use classic cars somewhere in Normandy. It's interesting how in France that a lot more people seem to be maintaining these older cars rather than just buying new ones. I suppose all these are still affordable. Got this diesel Citroen AX, which is such a contrast to the UK where everything is just brought brand new, but actually in France, literally every car is French, but people do tend to keep these old things going, which means more car garages, which means more opportunity to find the occasional 2CV or something else. Une Citren Ami, an estate Citren Ami. It's amazing the stuff you see. Oh, Dad missed that one. We're chasing down wherever the Citren Ami went to. Somewhere up here. Well, look at this one. We just had a chat to the owner of this fantastic Citren Ami. It's a Citren Ami estate. What a lovely little thing that is. Obviously an original French car. The owner of this car has several deux chevaux, the 2CVs over here, and what a great looking practical estate that is. I had thought there'd be more abandoned cars we'd be seeing today, but yeah, this one is in full working order. Right, so here we are in the shed, and of course we are going to look at the bidon up there first. All those lovely French tins. This is one amazing shed. It's amazing the things you find just wandering around and tracking down the Citren Ami estate. What a lovely, lovely shed this is. Dad's having a little chat with the owner, a bit of franglais as he said. Yeah, we've got this 2CV in quite a bit of restoration here. This one is somewhat dismantled, and up there hanging off the ceiling is another 2CV. That is really making great use of the space in this little shed. We'll have a little look where Dad is. There's another Citren Ami here. Another project, this one, an Ami 6, this one. Incredible car. Harley's just going to have a look. Keep out of his way. Oh, so this is the saloon, isn't it? So we've got the estate outside and the saloon here. This is one great shed, loads and loads of parts, 2CV doors, that's off the Charleston red one. What a place this is. Dad is flexing his incredible French. Les bidons. J'adore les bidons.
Harley's a big fan of all these tins. What a great garage. Here in sunny France, what a treat to be able to see these fantastic cars. And there's a 2CV in the sky on CL. Wow.
Well, yeah, that was one absolutely fascinating garage. Two 2CVs, Citren Ami Saloon and a Citren Ami estate over here. But the search continues. We are only just in day 2 of our search around Normandy in northern France. Still lots of scars obviously from the Second World War. Dad has taken a fancy to some of these no parking signs. I bet there's something interesting in here. There's a surprising amount of people into old cars in France. So yeah, let's see what other classic car gems we can find. Well, look at this, c'était gratuit. The very, very kind man from the garage just up there has given me this great old tin. What a lovely thing that is. Didn't even ask for it. Le bidon classique. But yeah, somehow managed to. You just ran after me. Well, that's very nice, isn't it?
Fantastic. Well, that's always going to have a great memory to it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a great story that'll be.
Merci beaucoup, Alex.
Alex, yeah.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah, well, isn't that very kind of him?
It is.
Lovely.
Much appreciated.
All car fans are the same the world over.
Little interruption here, guys, from mid-editing Harley. Now, if you want to see more of this Antar tin and also a lot of other very, very tasty things I've brought back home with me after buying in France, of course, the Antar tin, very, very kindly donated by Alex to the CarTraction Automobilia collection. Now, if you want to see more of those, make sure to keep posted on the channel homepage. If this video is just a couple of days old now, in the next coming week or so, I'll be uploading a specialised video where I restore and clean up all those lovely French things. If it's a couple of weeks old, this video, you can check out the channel homepage. It'll already be uploaded and it can be found on the end screen of this video, so do make sure to look out for that video. We did come away with some very, very interesting things, but in the meantime, make sure to keep watching this one and let's see what else we can find. Well, the beautiful old tin is all bagged up now. That'll have such a great story and a souvenir from Alex with the 2 CVs and the Citren Amis. Yeah, thank you very, very much, Alex. Well, look at this. I know we're meant to be focusing on cars today, but this is an old Citroen garage. Look at that. It's got a glorious Citroen Agency sign painted on the side there. We had actually a look. Oh, look at that. A VW bay window. All the things you see, there's actually a much bigger classic car scene in France than I saw. So yeah, this is an old Citroen garage, probably 1920s, 1930s originally. But in there yesterday, we saw a Citroen 2CV, an early one, with the sort of rippled from bumper. I can see it now, but you won't be able to see it through the window. And there is a blue Citroen 2CV van in there as well. So there might even be other stuff in there. It's just that it happens to be filmy. It seems to be closed today, but that is one very, very nice bit of vintage car architecture. Yeah, so we can just about see the back of the 2CV van over there, the blue one.
The fourgonette.
Yes, the fourgonette. And then Dad says there's actually, we can see the...
Two 2CV saloons.
There you go, yeah.
I'm not sure if we've got reflections, but...
A bit, but you're on there. But yeah, there's one.
It's probably late 50s, 60s.
And there's another one just over there.
Another slightly later one on the left with a horizontal...
They're both of their bonnets up.
Slats,
And then there's an Acadian.
There's a GTI over there as well.
Is that in the main bit of the garage?
Next to that model.
There's a Citroen Visa GTI, so that's like the sporty one.
It's got alloy wheels on.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see?
Oh, there you go, thank you, yeah. Citroen Visa GTI.
I think that's what it is.
Things you find by peeking through windows, isn't it? Another example of the French keeping old cars going. That is a Renault 19. Well, our usual holiday spot is we are around the back of a French garage, and look at these. There are so many abandoned cars in France for no reason. I'm sure there's a reason. Oh, look at that, it's a Renault 5. Wow. Things you see when you just go off the beaten track. Wow, that's been parked there a while, hasn't it? I tell you what though, it doesn't look rotten or anything. That does not look bad at all. That would actually clean up really nice. What a shame, that little Renault 5. I suppose it's kind of disposable, old cheap car no one really wants. It doesn't rain too much here in France, which is a good thing for these preserving these old cars, but look at this. Oh, it's such a shame, man. I like Renault 5s. This is an interesting little corner, isn't it? There's plenty here, so let's have a little look at any of the slightly older cars that are just dumped here for not sure why. I'll be taking detailed photos of these for the CarTraction Instagram page at CarTraction_vids. What a find these are, eh? So interesting. It's so different to the UK because this would have just rotten away in the UK, but it's just preserved so nicely. I cannot see any rust on that car. The paint is pretty bad, but that would actually clean up pretty nicely. Okay, so now we've seen the little Renault 5, let's look at what else there is. There's a Peugeot 206 here, we're of course looking at the older stuff. There's a BMW 7 Series here. What is this doing here? This doesn't look bad at all, but it looks like it's been parked for a long time. Wow, this would not have been a cheap car in its day. BMW 7 Series, not sure what engine that has. What are these doing dumped over here? It's interesting all the things you find. Got Ford Fiesta, a British car, left-hand drive, Renault Clio and a Suzuki over there. Let's look at this, Peugeot 205 here, 1980s. That is just looking in a bit of a sorry state, but it still doesn't look really rotten actually. The interior is not the best. I think the door's open on this one. There you go. Wow, that door's not been open for a long time, has it? Make sure to shut it after me. Oh, it doesn't really shut. That's probably why it's open anyway. A 205 XLD, so a diesel one. What a shame that little 205's been abandoned there though. I think this Citroen Zara has seen better days. But yeah, I know these aren't the most sort of interesting old cars, but yeah, they're really interesting to look at these. Peugeot 205, that poor little Renault 5 over there, and a BMW 7 Series. What is that doing here? That does not look rotten at all actually, but yeah. Let's see if we can find some maybe slightly older cars on our travels. This is one interesting sight, isn't it? Well everyone, we're back at another back of a garage, and look at this, a Renault 4 van. How did you spot this from the road? Meant to be looking at the road, but now looking sideways. Yeah, matte black Renault 4 van. There are a lot of these sort of like breakers yards around France, I've noticed. A lot of abandoned cars. Albeit these ones are very modern. Say Citroen Zantia, and whatever that is, looks a little bit sorry for itself, as does this one. It's an old forklift, it's got a bit of age. Dad is eagerly looking at that little Renault 4 van. We've got a Peugeot 308 here, I suppose that's got some age. Once again, look at that, that is sort of bodywork wise, that is absolutely mint. The paint has faded, but that somehow it's just absolutely mint. Look at the sort of paint underneath those arches. That is really, the metalwork on that is really, really nice actually, I suppose, because it doesn't really rain much. It's obviously so faded. It's been parked for a long time. A 30, oh, did I say 308? 309 I meant, 309 GR. But there is no rust. Look at these arches. These are so crisp. In Britain, those would just disintegrate. If this was Britain, this would be just rotten. But look at it, how clean is it? Yeah, that's where I was looking. It's incredible, isn't it? How do these things survive so well? Well everyone, we've pulled over at a certain Peugeot garage and we've found some proper old stuff in here. We'll start off with this. Now look at that. Oh, I don't think we can really see it. Like, how do I do that? There you go. A Peugeot 201D from 1936. Vente possible. That means potentially for sale, but that is a really nice oily rag. I'm trying to get my hands around. That's such a lovely car, isn't it? Very nice and oily rag. And then this is, yeah, it's a 203. I thought it was a 403. I'll try and get my hand in. There you go. Peugeot 203 this one is. It's so hard to see because of our reflections. You just get all our reflections. So there's the 403, and then there's that gorgeous 201. Look at that. Sort of. That's the best I can do, but that is a lovely, lovely car, as is this Peugeot 203. And then we've got a Peugeot 404 here. Great to see some classic Peugeots out and about. I'll try and get my hand in the way. That's also in really nice original condition actually. We've got loads of sort of original Peugeot signs. That's a really cool garage, this actually, isn't it? So there's the 404. Oh, it's an estate though, I didn't realise. There's a 404 from 1970. That's cool, that. There you go, very similar to the likes of the Austin Cambridge in Britain, Pininfarina design. So we've got the beautiful that's just dad reflections. So it's a 201, a 203, 404. We've got this. This is a 302, 10 chevaux. That's a really lovely car as well, actually. Got the headlights enclosed within the front grille. This one also from 1937. Lovely cars. Well, we've just pulled over because we have found a museum here that seems to concern classic cars. Now, what I might end up doing is making a whole separate video of a walk around for these, but we've got some interesting French cars just outside, which sort of fits the theme of this video, being the sort of classic cars spotted out and about that happen to be in Normandy here in France. Now, this is really rare, and this is a Renault 6, and that's pretty much where my knowledge ends. A Renault 6TL, left-hand drive, of course. But yeah, I know nothing, absolutely nothing about this Renault 6. There's another Renault 4 van. We've seen one of these so far. This one looks in somewhat better condition perhaps than the one we saw earlier. The almost brush painted, I think, black one. Renault 4 F6 van. There's the museum. Looks like a pretty interesting place, but it looks quite big, so I'll probably dedicate a separate video to that, so we'll have to see for that one. And also outside here is yet another Renault 4, the first Renault 4 saloon I think we've seen so far. Seen two vans and now a saloon for Station 70 or Station, oh what is it, 70, there you go, 70 in French. 2 seats in this one. I would have thought it had 4 seats, maybe it's just been removed, I don't know. Got some jazzy alloy rims on this one. Well, we were just on our way back from Station 70, Station 70, and look at this! We screeched to a halt because we saw this absolutely glorious old Citroen truck. There's actually quite a few more interesting trucks dotted around here, but this is probably my favourite. Look at that! With the old wine in the back. That is one lovely, just beautiful old truck. This is like sort of like traditional shop area type thing. That truck is gorgeous. You got the old sort of front faces of the shops here. There's a Citroen garage here as well. Look at that, the Coltex petrol pump. Look at this. That Citroen stock sign is very, very old. As is, but maybe a water pump here. Garage Citroen. It's pretty cool, that, isn't it? So it says depuis 1932, since 1932. Not exactly sure whether this is a genuine old site. It's probably just like a recreation. And it just happens to have a few odd things, like there's old lampposts, the Citroen truck, and that absolutely huge, I think it's the belly, they're called petrol pump, and the Citroen garage. This is actually a really cool little setup here. I do like these. And over here, a couple of military trucks. This may be a Dodge, perhaps. There's quite a few of these actually. I think these are like the, I don't know the model. I think they're Dodges, obviously American World War II things. And this one over here seems to have a Polish flag. I think a lot of people underestimate what the Poles did in the efforts for the Second World War. It's nice to see them represented on there. There's also a very nice pair of horns on the front of what I think is another Dodge. It's like a short wheelbase troop carrier type thing. I'm not too good on the military stuff, but they're really cool, aren't they? Yeah. 1944, I think I saw the date on them. All the jerry cans in the gear. How lovely is that old Citroen truck over there? Well, we just screeched to a halt because, look at this, very, very early Citroen de Chevaux, Citroen 2CV. That's really, really, really nice and original. Front wheel drive, 600cc, something like that. I think they might be slightly smaller, these really early ones, but look how nicely preserved that is. Look at all that paint there, or lack of, in some cases. The paint's so nice, and this lovely interior as well. That is exactly how I'd have one. That's such a cool 2CV. Well, there goes a Peugeot 205 convertible. Look at this, what we found. A Peugeot 403 light van. I think the back of it's like a modern light box put on the back, but the actual car itself is old. Peugeot 403. It's absolutely huge. It is such a long bonnet. What year is this, Dad?
I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch it. I think it was either 53 or 57.
Alright, 53 or 57. Peugeot 403. It's actually still a really usable thing though. We've seen plenty of Renault 4s and even an Opel GT on our run over today. But this is the one we stopped for, Peugeot 403 van. An Opel Manta. I have good eyesight. Dad will probably pretend he spotted this, but if you look all the way down there, it's like a Chevrolet 3100 pickup. There it is, yeah.
Chevy 3100 with jerry can on the back.
Mid-50s 3100, isn't it? 6-cylinder column change. I don't think we can get in actually, unfortunately. But you can just see the front of it there. That's actually one of my favourite spots so far, with a huge sun visor. But yeah, I think that's the best look we'll be getting at this one, unfortunately. Just beyond this impressive water tower is une Renault 4, a Renault 4. Look at this. This is in like, when I first saw it, it's in kind of like the horrible trendy grey that loads of modern cars seem to be in now, but I think it looks quite good on this. It's got a little trim vinyl strip or something. Super hot today in somewhere on the northern coast of France. That's just one very, very nice condition Renault 4. Not a patch of rust, one tiny dent on the, I don't know what side's offside and near side over here. But yeah, that looks really, really clean. Got the roof rack as well. When were these made, Dad? Was it sort of late 50s to 70s, 80s? Yeah. GTL. Kind of thinking this is a slightly earlier one. You look at the interior, it often gives them away. It's not the earliest, but I don't think it's the latest, so maybe sort of late 1960s, late 1970s. I don't know how to date French number plates, but I really do love the look of those little cars. They are great, aren't they? That there is a Renault 4 on some hay bales. Okay, that one looks a little bit abandoned.
Citroen no less.
Well, it's another day in northern France, everyone, and here is a pair of very interesting abandoned cars. This one is actually for sale. This is a Polski Fiat, a Polish built. I think it's a Fiat 125. It's for sale, à vendre, for €1,500, but it is a little bit crusty, and it looks like the engine mount composes of some wooden planks. So it's like £1,200 in the UK. It's not the rustiest car I've ever seen, but let's have a look around the front. Dad's quite keen on the DS. 125 XP from 1976. That's pretty cool, that. And just behind, it's a DS. That's pretty cool, isn't it? First DS we've seen on our French excursion. We'll get a look around the other side. Well everyone, we finally found one in this Renault dealership. Beyond all the annoying shadows lurks un 4 chevaux, a Renault 4CV. I'll try and show it to you. Look at that. Left-hand drive, of course. It's a French example. This is a little bit of an oily rag one, this one. Ours is a little bit shinier perhaps. There's just my reflection. That's actually a really, really lovely 4CV there. And just next door, a little bit newer, that sort of 50s. This is a 54, of course. Is this Renault 5? Sorry. Interesting to see these two classics inside a modern Renault dealership, but it's great to see 1951 maybe Renault 4CV here. Finally found one. There are actually loads of cars dumped behind this modern Renault dealership as well. Got a Renault Clio, there's a Peugeot 205 there. I'm not quite sure what that's doing at a Renault dealership. But here is little Renault Twingo. These are really funky little cars, these. These must have sold in the millions. There are still really common spots in various French towns. And even on the back roads actually, there's still so many of these things going. You may be wondering, what are you doing at another Renault garage? Well, I think I saw some interesting and very rare cars in here. So let's have a little look. Oh yeah, there's the horrible new Renault just in there, which is not what we'll be looking at. But look at these. Oh wow. Oh wow, there's a lot in there. Start at the start. This is a Renault 4 convertible. Never seen one of those before. The plein air. I did not even know these existed. A convertible version, much like the Citroen Mahari is to the 2CV of the Renault 4, the plein air. But just beyond that, it appears to be a Fiat 500 for some reason. There's an old petrol pump at the back as well, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Fiat 500 is doing here. So there is the Renault 4 plein air. And then over there is a Renault Juve 4 van. Missing one headlight. It might just be like a blackout headlight, I'm not sure actually, but that's quite cool. The Juve 4s have a lovely shape round the front. And just over there is a Renault 8 Saloon. That's a nice little collection of classic Renaults, and for some reason a gate crashing Fiat. Yeah, it's interesting how in lots of Renault garages there are lots of old stuff. At the back of this collection there is also a Velo Solex, very, very French. And hiding in this corner as well are a couple more little Renault Twingos. I know they're really modern, but I think they're quite cute looking little cars. I think just through here, yes, another Twingo, nice little blue one here. Yes, really, really great to see all the modern car dealerships actually embracing the old car history by having old cars in their dealership. Well, it was obvious this one was going to be popular with Dad. Look at this, as he almost falls over. Caught in 1920 times 1080p. That's really cool, that. So is this like a converted wartime Dodge? That's really cool actually, because we got the 3-ton Transport and that is like a massive forehead like that. That's actually really cool, that.
From the scuttle backwards, so it's quite an unusual.
Oh, it's for sale. Strict €2,500. That actually looks really cool and not bad at all. Some sort of special made backs on old trucks can look a bit strange, but that one actually looks really nice. As I said, it shares the same massive forehead as our 3-ton at home. That bit's sort of quite similar. That's actually quite cool, though, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? Not a bad price.
If it runs, which it probably would.
Is there an engine in it? There's an engine in it.
No, scratch that. No engine in the Dodge. But still, it looks nice, bit of yard art. There's also a few abandoned cars over there, and one of the most interesting ones, a British car, is that Mini. No roof, makes sense. That one does not look like it'll be coming on the road again. You don't see many British cars abandoned in France, but you do see a lot of abandoned French cars, but not many of these. We've seen one wartime military Dodge in still its original form, but this is a really, really rare thing. Now, do we think that's savable? Can you find a working Dodge engine? Let me know in the comments below if you think this Dodge is savable. Well, we recently had a visitor of the feline type, and just down here we have a visitor of the canine type who was sniffing around the front of the car. Maybe we ran something over a few years ago. I'm sure that made for a great shot.